Judicial Watch, the government watchdog organization known for its adept use of the Freedom of Information Act, recently discovered that West Point Military Academy has been pushing critical race theory and other left-wing worldviews. Judicial Watch's FOIA lawsuits against the Department of Defense forced the release of more than 600 pages of PowerPoint slides, handouts, and other curricula on topics such as, quote, modern-day slavery in the USA, end quote. Is this the best use of our cadets' time? More importantly, how does this help the military in pursuing military readiness? I doubt the military training in China or Russia includes such courses. Is it giving us an advantage? Joining me now to discuss this is Bill Marshall, Senior Investigator for Judicial Watch. Bill, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on, Joseph.
First, tell us what prompted you to ask these questions and start looking for these documents.
Okay, well, actually, I have a very personal connection to West Point. My son is a West Point graduate. My wife and I spent a lot of time up there. They are some of the best and brightest of America's youth, truly, truly great Americans. And we were getting information from graduates of West Point that they had concerns about what was being taught at the academy. And we were aware that this was going on at the Naval Academy as well, and the Air Force Academy. And in fact, we just filed suit against the Naval Academy or against the Defense Department to get similar records out of the Naval Academy. So this is I've been working on the CRT issue, the critical race theory issue that's afflicting many of our institutions. All over the country. I've been getting records from K-12 schools, school districts across the country, and believe me, it's going on everywhere. Both public and private schools are inculcating their students with this really noxious material. It's, as I say, it's all the service academies. I've been going after government agencies where this ideology is being inflicted on government employees. We had a story recently, based on records I got out of the DC public school system, in which the staff members and the faculty were being divvied up into what they're calling affinity spaces. This is a new term that you should watch for. This is sort of the balkanization of groups into Black affinity spaces, white affinity spaces, Hispanic affinity spaces, LGBTQ. This is such a pernicious and truly, as you mentioned in your opening to the segment, such a divisive and demoralizing ideology that stems from Marxism. It comes from a Marxist framework, critical theory, and it's critical race theory, and there are various veins of critical theory.
Yeah,
but yes,
yeah. We used to call it segregation and it was bad, but now we call it affinity spaces and we're supposed to like it, but it's really the exact same thing. I want to talk about some of the details of what you found, but Congressman Chip Roy, in fact, has been talking about this issue recently as well. I want to let you listen to his description of this and then see if you think this is accurate. Let's play clip 4.
Our premier military academies, our academies are promoting CRT. PowerPoint slides from West Point surfaced that delved into whiteness and slated that in order to understand racial inequity and slavery, it is first necessary to address whiteness. The slide also claims whiteness is a location of structural advantage of race privilege. Cadets were asked their whiteness and encouraged to use CRT in their answers.
Is Congressman Roy's description there consistent with what you found?
Exactly right. That's exactly right, and I'm so glad that he's bringing attention to it at the federal level. This is some of the slides in particular that we found from the PowerPoint presentations that were being used to instruct cadets were really deeply disturbing. And the military in general and the military academies in particular are among the most meritocratic institutions in our society. And this ideology seems specifically designed to undermine that unity of spirit and cohesion and cohesiveness that is so important to the military's mission and what they train. I can tell you from firsthand experience in watching my son develop into such a great leader and leader of men and officer, that is truly a a leveling institution where it doesn't matter what race you are, what ethnicity, what religion, what your religious creed is, you are all on a level playing field. And this is designed to undermine that. It is so toxic, is truly. And one of the phrases in one of these slides was CRT grows out of the field of law and studies the way that racism is built into and reproduced through institutions that organize everyday life. Now, what is more divisive than that sort of principle being drummed into, indoctrinated into the minds of our future military leaders?
And we're talking to Bill Marshall from Judicial Watch. And Bill, what's the benefit of this from those who are pushing it? How does this help our military from their perspective?
I don't think it does at all. And in fact, I would argue that this is one aspect of the controlled demolition of all of the pillars that make up the framework of our society, and intentionally so. This is being orchestrated by very powerful forces against every institution in our country, the schools, the medical authorities, the FDA, CDC, I would argue, the government, all government agencies. I got records out of the National Credit Union Association where this ideology is being taught. I got them out of the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau. I got them out of Montgomery County schools. I've gotten them from the Puyallup County schools in Washington. That story will be coming out shortly. I've gotten them from the Isle of Wight County schools in Virginia. So this is a widespread, pervasive attack, I would argue, on our society by very malevolent people. I mean, unbelievable.
It is, the evidence is growing that this is truly everywhere, and we have to respond. Bill Marshall, we are out of time, but we thank you for bringing this to us today.
Thank you very much.